What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another classic WoW video for Season of Discovery. So with Season of Discovery Phase 4 being on the PTR, I have a video that I want to make talking more about Season of Discovery Phase 4 and more specifically my concerns with Phase 4 based on the PTR so far, the blue post that we have, and the statements about Phase 4. Now I know that Phase 4 has just been released to the PTR and I'm supposed to just be happy, we're in the honeymoon phase, we're in the hype phase, and I'm supposed to just be hyping this phase up as much as I can, because that's good for the algorithm. Either way, I want to do something that I think is going to be more productive to the game itself, and I want to talk about my personal concerns, and I want to make that very clear. These are my concerns with Phase 4. I could be completely wrong here, but at least I can input my input here, I can give my feedback to Blizzard, and I can bounce my concerns off of you guys as well, and you can let me know in the comments if I'm being absolutely crazy, or if I have a point on what I'm talking about, and let me know your concerns about Phase 4, or like the good and the bad about Season of Discovery in general in the comments down below as well. I would personally love to see your comments and see your feedback. Either way, I think it's very good for Blizzard to, like, if they somehow stumble upon my thoughts, my videos or something, it's important for me to leave feedback on the things that I think should be improved, or what I'm not happy about. That way, I mean, right now we have PTR for at least a few weeks, so they have some time here to actually do some changes to the game itself before Phase 4 goes public. So I want to bounce my ideas off you guys and leave some feedback based on that. So, without further ado, here are some of my concerns, and I want to take you guys over to the initial blue post about Phase 4 to talk more about this. So going back to the blue post from Phase 4, we can take a look at what's in store in Phase 4, and someone should have been counting how many times I've said Phase 4 so far, but either way, we can take a look at what's in store in, well, Phase 4, and yeah. Number one that I want to talk about is, if we go over here, Nightmare Incursions updated to daily quest hubs. This is a good change. It's just happening way too late, and I don't know why they had to wait from Phase 3 till Phase 4 to make this change. This should have happened like a couple of days into Phase 3, at maximum a few weeks into Phase 3, and increase the rewards. Increase the rewards, but make it daily. That way, like, what I like about Classic is going out in the open world and seeing people. Incursions is literally instanced content. It's just you see people in a different instance, which I guess that's kind of cool, but you're staying in one place for 10 levels, sometimes 15 levels. Sometimes you'd stay in 2 different incursions, from level 25 all the way to level 50. Instead of doing anything else, you just stay in one place all that time. Meanwhile, if it was a daily quest hub, let's say it gave you 1 level. Like, that's a massive amount of levels, like 1 level, and it took you 15 minutes to do. But you could only do it once per day. I've been talking about this since Phase 2. This should have been, not since Phase 2, since Phase 3. This should have been here a long time ago. Ideally, I would want Incursions to be totally gone, but daily quest hub, at least, that's a good thing. Apart from that, one of the things that I'm really, like, this makes me a little bit mad, and it's something that makes me a little bit skeptical about what the idea was from the start of Season of Discovery. But let's talk about raids. We have the Molten Core raid dungeon coming out. Experience Molten Core as a 20-player dungeon with 10 classic bosses, revamped loot, redesigned tier 1 sets, and more. Players will also be able to turn up the heat with a new variable difficulty mechanic. Don't forget your fire resist gear, you're going to need it. We'll be adding one more surprise to this classic raid dungeon for intrepid adventurers to discover as well. Basically, for raiding, I think Blizzard has made a big mistake all the way from the start, and that is starting this whole thing out. with 10-man content. In Phase 1, guilds were made, formed, and recruitment was done based on 10-man guilds. It was based on 10-man content, and then in Phase 2 they simply hard swapped. There was suddenly only 20-man content, no 10-man options, and going into Phase 3, it's the same. Sunken Temple, 20-man only. There's only 20-man, no 10-man options. And in Phase 3 as well, we saw a bunch of guilds really struggle in Sunken Temple, getting 20 people together, because from the start this was made for 10-man content. Even though they stated they still want to have 40-man content as well, it started out as 10-man content. We had BFD being 10-man, and even if you want to fuse 2 10-man guilds together, they're usually formed with 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 6 DPS, which when you fuse them together, that is 4 tanks, 4 healers, and 12 DPS. Now you want to have 2 of the tanks that went tank because they probably want to have Thunder Fury. Now they have to be the DPS instead, and in doing so, they sacrifice their Thunder Fury priority at the same time, and the healers probably went healers because they want to be healer for whatever reason, and now one of those healers probably has to sacrifice their healing to be DPS as well, or find a new guild, and then the problem continues because now there's simply too many tanks, or too many healers, or too many of X DPS. It's been a problem since Phase 1 because they should have kept it at one thing. Whether they started out as 10-man, 20-man, 40-man, it should have been the same from the start all the way till the end. That way, recruitment would have been the same in Phase 1 as it is now in Phase 4, and they keep doing this in Phase 4 as well. They make you do 20-man content, even though they say that you can do it as more people as well. So, for example, world bosses will be tuned for 20-player content, but you can do it up to 40 people as well, which is great. But what about less than 20 people? Why can't you just scale the world bosses down to 10 people? And that way you can be between 10 and 20 instead of only scaling it upwards. Why not tune it for 10 people, and then people can choose to be more than 10, but tune it for 10? Just an idea. And same thing for Molten Core. Why no 10-man Molten Core? Or why no 10-man kind of replacement? We could have had a Dire Maul raid. A 10-man Dire Maul raid with Molten Core equivalent items. It seems to me like Season of Discovery has evolved from being this super casual friendly game mode in Phase 1, where you could just jump in, play around a little bit, have some fun, experience the content, and just in general have a good time, and being super casual friendly, to where you could play this as a side piece, a side game, while playing Retail as your main game, Cataclysm as your main game, whatever your main game was. You could still play Season of Discovery and do the content, to now being a hardcore version of WoW that you want to have as your main game if you want to play, because you want to have a steady 20-man roster, or you have to pug 20 people every single week to do the raid, and you only have one type of content to do, which is 20-man raiding. There's no 10-man equivalent, and I don't understand why, because having the ability to be 10 people just makes the game the game mode more appealing to more people, and it suddenly becomes more flexible. Instead of having to be 20 people, you can now be 10. It would be so much better for so much more people. They should have made, for example, Dire Maul, which has 3 wings. That could have been a raid, a 10-player raid, with Molten Core equivalent rewards, so you could raid as a 10-player guild. I think that the success of Phase 1 really shows that 10-man raiding was the way to go, and is the way to go as well. I still think 20-man raiding and 40-man raiding should be a thing, by the way, but I also think that 10-man raiding should also be a thing, because that is what they started out with. It's a lot more flexible, it's a lot more inclusive, it just makes the game more available to more people. There's pretty much no downsides except slightly more work for Blizzard. to make 10-man raiding a thing. It doesn't, like, they've talked about this before, I think, that Molten Core was easy to make 20-man, because you still have the same mechanics, but you down-tune the numbers a little bit. But we don't have to have Molten Core 10-man. You can scale up the rewards from other places, like, for example, Dire Maul, or Stratholm, or Skolomans. It can be something like that technically is a 10-man raid. It's already you can beat 10 people in dungeons, so you just have to scale up the rewards and also tune the boss fights. Add mechanics. Do what you did to Sunken Temple, but to one of the level 60 dungeons instead. Even Blackrock Depths could have been a 10-man raid. Now, that's a huge segment about raiding covered right there. TLDR, I want 10-man raids. Doesn't have to be 10-man Molten Core, it can be 10-man anything else, but it has to have a raid level rewards. So Molten Core loot, but put into any other dungeon that is now a 10-man raid. I simply don't understand why that's not the case. It would make the game more appealing to a whole lot of people, but that's enough about raiding. There's one more thing I want to talk about, and you can see where this is going. New Stranglethorn Veil and Blood Moon rewards and currency. Why has this been the event for 3 phases now? This came out in phase 2. It was super cool in phase 2. In phase 3, when they said this was the case, like once again Stranglethorn Veil, and just a new currency and new rewards, it was so boring. It was so dumb. In phase 3, recycling the same thing, and now phase 4 comes out, and they're doing the same thing again. They're recycling the same one again. Why not have it be literally anything else? Have it be Horde, like attacking Stormwind. Have it be Alliance attacking Orgrimmar. Bring back old school Battle for Hillsbrad. Have a battle in Plaguelands. I don't know, like literally anything else than reusing the same one that we've had for 2 phases. It was fun in phase 2, really shit in phase 3, and now we have it again in phase 4? Do you want PvP to die? Do you want PvP to not be a thing? Because we have all these things for PvE. We have like class adjustments, we have professions, reputation updates, we have nightmare incursions, we have the raid, Molten Core raid, world boss raid. If you're strictly a PvP player right now, all you're getting out of this is new Stranglethorn Veil and Blood Moon currency rewards, reward and currency, and PvP class sets for rank 10. What a time to be a PvP player, man. Like, I'm not a PvP player myself, I am mad on your behalf. If you're a PvP player, tell me that you are excited for phase 4. I really want to hear that you are super excited for phase 4. New Stranglethorn Veil. Reusing the same one. 3 phases in a row, man. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Like, I want to be super excited about this phase, and to be fair, I will play this phase, and I'm looking forward to it, but I do have some concerns, and these are those concerns. So once again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Little bit of a rant today, but I mean, I think it's justified. Once again, I would love to hear your comments and your feedback. The servers are down right now, so I'm trying to get back in, but the servers just went down. Maybe an update. PvP update? We'll see. Either way, once again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know everything you think about phase 4 as well in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, take the time to leave a like on the video. It really helps me out, so thank you so much. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you again in the next video very soon.